Also, I use a different. I use my mobile phone so that I can monitor what I'm looking for. So, see my PowerPoint. There are some others. Okay, seems okay. Everybody okay? Can see my slides? My last slide? Okay, great. I'm going to stop. Satyas, do you see this? Your gift from last Apan.
Blue team.
46. Yeah, blue team.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, me too.
You have
really looking forward to visit your site for ATS.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. We are getting ready for the ATS.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Your gift from last Apan. We are getting a voice back. I think
not me. I mute everything.
Test. No.
We are getting ready for the ATS.
I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah. Hope by
Someone
the time
has the streaming. They're playing the streaming.
Yeah, somebody close that.
Probably Satya-san?
No.
No?
Now it stopped.
It was me.
Oh.
Sorry. Because I connect the streaming to my television.
Yeah, you have to put the audio.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Just mute audio. Yeah. It's good to see everyone here, actually. Dr. Aksa.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Chang, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Yes. Yes. Hi, everybody. It's okay? Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay, hello, good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Welcome to 52 Apan Indonesia for technology session. I would like to welcome everyone to the session, and hopefully we have a very good meeting today. By the way, my name is Zahir. I'm from University of Malaya Medical Center. I'm IT major in IT department. So I was involved with Apan Medical Group. I think this is my 12 years participation with Apan Medical Working Group. And for Apan, I was involved since 2014. So as usual, technology session is the first session for the Apan Medical Working Group. So this is the meeting where mostly all the engineers will get connected. However, for today, I think we can see very less participation. So I also checked with YouTube, and hopefully more members will come and join us for the session. So for this session, I will co-chair the meeting with our friend, Mr. Chiang, previously from National Taiwan University. Mr. Chiang, can you say a few words?
Hi, this is Tizhuang Jiang, and I was engineering for the National Taiwan University Medical School and just retired this January. And I was involved with APAM since 2006. And now this is the 15th years for my involvement in this project. I feel great honor to be co-chair with Zahias, and also I feel really like encourage everybody in this pandemic session period. We have to move to the online meeting and looking forward we can meet someday in person and safely, and we can really enjoy our friendship and our partnership. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chang. And then I would like to introduce my doctor, which is connected with me, Dr. Lukman. Doctor, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. Nice to meet you all today. My name is Dr. Lukman. I am an endocrinologist as well as the head of a diabetes care unit in University Malaya Medical Center. I've been involved in the development of teleconsultation for University Malaya Medical Center for the past 1 year plus. Later, I will tell you the story how we get along the process and how we started and then how we get to where we are at now.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lukman. Then I would like to call Dr. Kuriko Kudo to introduce or say a few words.
Hello, thank you, Tahir and Chiang-san. I'm Kuriko from TEMDEC, Telemedicine Development Center of Asia, Kyushu University Hospital. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. And then I would like to call Mr. Satya to say a few words.
Hi, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. This is Satya from Asian Institute of Gastroenterology, Hyderabad, India. And I think we all set to go with the technology session, which is much awaited, I believe. After a long time, we are all meeting. Hope we'll have a very good session today. Thank you.
Thank you, Satya. Then we move on to Dr. Aksa from Indonesia.
Yeah, hello everybody. Good morning. I'm Dr. Aksa Syuhadra from Universitas Airlangga in Indonesia. I used to organize the dental session of the Apan meeting, but this time I was invited to present my experience to manage the reliable online learning. Thank you for having me here. Have a nice meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aksa. Then can I call Mr. Lee from Taiwan?
Hi, this is Li Shiku from NCHC in Taiwan. So nice to see everybody again online. It's my great pleasure to be in this community. Hopefully, we will have a very successful meeting today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee. Then can I call Mr. Shintaro to say a few words?
Hello, everyone. This is Shintaro from TEMDEC Kyushu University Hospital. I'm an engineer here. Looking forward to everyone's presentation. Let's have a wonderful session.
Okay, thank you so much, Shin, for your support as always. Then can we have some words from Yoshiko?
Hello everyone, I'm Yoshiko from TEMDEC. I'm also very looking forward to hear the get the new information here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yoshiko. So for today's topic, we will discuss about the technology session that used during pandemic COVID-19. So as I think in all the countries, including Malaysia, COVID-19 pandemic is still active, and we are in Malaysia. We already have a third wave right now, and we also have a various case with Delta variant, and the daily case is approaching 17,000 for new case daily right now. So the government has enforced a very strict movement control, where, for example, we cannot go to university, we cannot go to shopping complex, we cannot do any other activities. So it's definitely will affect in terms of our medical services, okay, for non-COVID cases, especially, and also other thing like medical training and also research activity, which is sometimes we also depend on the physical meeting. However, having this pandemic for more than 1 year, I believe that many centers, including our hospital, had come up with few projects in order to overcome all this strict movement control which imposed by the government. So hopefully by having this technology session today, Actually, we can also share whatever that we have done in Malaysia or in our university, and also whatever that you have also done at your country. So probably we can share with each other and we can learn together for this meeting. So I think without further ado, I would like to invite the first speaker for today. We have Dr. Lukman from University of Malaya Center to deliver his speech. Can you see the slide?
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Lukman. I am from the Diabetes Care Unit of University Malaya Medical Center. So I'll just brief you on how we have developed our teleconsultation services. Of course, by this stage, I wouldn't consider our services to be well established yet. It's still in a work in progress. In fact, I feel like it's still an early work in progress, to be honest. But just to have some rough idea on who we are and what we do, the University Malaya Medical Center is the largest training university hospital in Malaysia. It is the largest hospital, it is the second largest hospital after the main government hospital, which is the Hospital Kuala Lumpur. We receive about more than 1 million visits per year prior to the COVID pandemic, and we have utilized fully electronic medical records for all our services since 2015. Yeah. Who do we cater? Most of our patients are made of a rather relatively aged demographics, because the towns surrounding our hospital, Petaling Jaya, Subang Jaya, as well as Bangsa, these are relatively aged community, because these neighborhoods were opened in the 1960s. So most of the population here are rather in the 60, 70 years old group. In 2013, we opened a diabetes care unit. So the purpose of diabetes care unit is to cater the needs for care for people with diabetes who attends our care in our hospital. At the peak of it, we attended to more than 12,000 of patients per year. And in 2018, we introduced a program called Advanced Insulin Education Program. So what this program does is that we monitor and we adjust patient treatment based mainly on their blood glucose monitoring. So this is where I think one of the significant move that we made towards data related management. And we did audited our services, and we found that this concept actually works better than our actual traditional clinic that was done prior to 2018. On top of that, we also have a member with a regional collaboration with the JADE database in Hong Kong. And over the years, we also have been using increasingly using continuous glucose monitoring system, or CGM, and insulin pump system, which both again come up with their own report in a form of data, and can in theory be managed remotely. So in 2019, a few events push us further forward. Number one is that we have a company called UMCH, which started to collaborate with Zahir and our hospital to develop a mobile platform called WeHealth. So this is actually a telemedicine platform, and it is targeted towards glucose monitoring, blood pressure monitoring, and medication adherence, as well as other lifestyle intervention. There's also other move by the industry players. For example, like Roche and Essentia both introduced their Bluetooth enabled home glucose monitors, and this monitor came with their own phone application as well. So meaning that in theory, these things all come in a digital form now, as well as Abbott and Medtronic came up with their own newer version of CGM, the Freestyle Libre, as well as the Guardian systems. So by that time, we have decided that this is the way we wanted to go forward. We wanted to be integrated. We want to integrate technology. We want to integrate multidisciplinary care in the management of our patient with diabetes. We knew from that point onwards that we wanted to venture into telemedicine, and we knew that this is the way forward, because what we realized that most of our patients can be managed with good, clear data, and as long as we can have this good, clear data, we can technically manage this patient at anywhere they are. And then we also felt that the way forward is to go into a data-driven decision making, and we have started building our own database for our people with diabetes. Unfortunately, in 2020, as we all know, COVID happened. So we had to cut down our clinic visits. We had to convert most of our wards into COVID ward. And this brings up even a greater urgency for the need of teleconsultation. And on top of it, this is also important to reduce overcrowding in hospital, which is typically the case with our hospital. And when we decided to go into telemedicine, we formed a committee in April last year to study the medical aspects, the technical aspects, as well as the legal aspects of teleconsultation. So the first thing that we did was we look at all the legislations first. Okay, and we found two important documents. There's the Malaysian Telemedicine Act 1997. In essence, this is pretty much just like our medical act, but caters about the use of telemedicine, about who can do telemedicine, and what are the legal requirements. Okay. The requirement for telemedicine based on this act is that they need to have a written consent. They need to have a consent. Yeah. How consent was defined was not explicitly mentioned as to be written or digital consent or e-consent. But at that point in time, we have decided that we wanted to go with a written consent first. Okay. And then there's also another act in Malaysia about the use of e-signature. But from what we look at this legislation, it does appear that the provision for e-signature only applies for commercial transaction only. And whether or not it applies to medical consent or healthcare use, we are still in the process of studying this part as we speak now. The other document that we look at is a newly published document by our Malaysian Medical Council. This is the governing body for all healthcare or all doctors in Malaysia. So they come up with a guideline in April last year as well that guides on how a standard of video consultation should be done. This is not specifically a legislation, but more of a standard of care. And what was explicitly said in this advisory was that they require patients who enroll for virtual consultation must be a patient that has already been receiving the treatment from that particular doctor or from the clinic itself. So meaning that they would prefer if let's say doctors don't have like new case or newly diagnosed patient to attend teleconsultation straight away, but the doctor must at least see the patient at least one time before the patient is enrolled into teleconsultation. So, and then based on these legal frameworks, we also went through the technical aspects of it as well as the processes, and then we identified three core areas. Number one is the people, like who's gonna practice teleconsultation, what kind of patient that we are going to enroll in teleconsultation, and then the place, where do we want to do our teleconsultation, what platform do we want to use, what software do we want to use, and where is the physical space that we need, as well as the process, like how do we document our teleconsultation session. Do you need a video recording? Do you need to document just like a normal clinic visit? How do we deal with data security? How do we deal with file lab results, referral letter security? How we deal with payment as well as medical indemnity as well, because this is a new concept of medical care, and we need to make sure that our healthcare providers are covered when they practice teleconsultation as well. Okay, the first is people. So when we decided, or when we look at this factor, we felt that there need to be some degree of competency for clinicians or for doctors to practice teleconsultation. So we have prepared a training module for them, Once they have completed this training, they will be credentialed for teleconsultation. But at the same time, we also expect them to be competent enough to solve clinical problems. Because being a training hospital, we cater from a very senior consultants down to very junior intern doctors. So not all doctors will be competent enough to solve most clinical problems without immediate supervision. So in this sense, we expect them to have, number one, completed their training, know how to run the process of teleconsultation, and as well as they should be competent enough to solve problems without having requiring a lot of hands-on intervention by their seniors. We also decide that patients who enroll in teleconsultation needs to be medically stable, means that if possible, they do not have any acute problem. If they do have acute problem, we recommend highly that they seek help for their acute problem outside of teleconsultation session, because they may require examination or physical examination or other tests that cannot be arranged through a teleconsultation session. Patients are expected to be able to perform self-check-in. Basically, what we do when patients come to the hospital, they come to the clinic counter and they register themselves at the counters. This process is what we call as a check-in process. So when patients come for teleconsultation session, we also expect them to do the same process as well. We expect them to do check-in process but from home instead of coming to the counter. And we also expect them to be able to operate and troubleshoot video conferencing software and hardware as well. Because we mainly use the commonly used application like Zoom and Google Meet. We find this is really not an issue for most of our patients actually. And last but not least is that because we foresee that a lot of virtual consultation or teleconsultation visits are going to be driven by data, and then a lot of our decision is going to be based on monitoring data, home monitoring or lab results. So we also expect patients to be able to provide this data to their healthcare providers so that we can make medical decisions for them. For the place of teleconsultation, we have decided that teleconsultation must take place within the hospital compound, and we decided that teleconsultation cannot take place from doctor's home, for example. And this is in line with our EMR access, which is only accessible within the hospital compound. But we have also decided that our teleconsultation should take place within the clinic space itself. So meaning that although it should be in the hospital compound, but we try not to have the doctor running teleconsultation from the ward or from their office, but we expect them to run it from their clinic itself. Okay. However, we also realize we are also aware that we need to consider there are other areas in the hospital that doesn't work in a clinic-based system. For example, like in a gymnasium, in a rehab area, where there are more like open space, and these providers, they also might want to engage in teleconsultation. So these are the issues that we need to address in the future. In terms of virtual space, we are using our existing AMR, which is iPusakit, and we also have another portal for patients that they can access from a general web browser. We call it SSO or single sign-on. So from this portal, they can address their appointment visits, appointment list, and then they can also do self-check-in from their appointment. So because of this portal has already been existing for a few years, we decided to use the same portal for the purpose of teleconsultation as well. So meaning that patient will join in teleconsultation from this portal rather than from their email or from another link that we give to them. So the access to teleconsultation will be from this portal. One of the advantage of having this portal is that the single sign-on concept actually also enables some degree of security. So meaning that because it's accessible only with username and password, so this provides some level of security that we are dealing with the correct patient with the correct password, and we are not dealing with some other stranger on the other end of the line. Yeah. For now, we are using Zoom and Google Meet, and we find that most patients have no issue with this two platforms. But we also need to refine our file transfer mechanism, because remember that when we say that most of our treatment are based on data and lab reports and glucose reports and blood pressure readings and all, right? So we need to refine this mechanism. How do we transfer the data? For now, personally, most of my patients send the data to me by email. But this is a staff email, you see. So this is not a hospital email, and we felt that maybe eventually we need to refine this mechanism. Instead of using a staff email to communicate directly with the patient, we may need to have some other method to communicate with them. Okay, so in terms of the process, how our process works. Basically, let's say if I have a unit like a cardiology unit, for example, who felt that they wanted to run a heart failure clinic using a teleconsultation approach. So they need to come up with a proposal and present to the telemedicine committee. Once the proposal has been approved, their staff needs to complete training and credentialing. And once they have completed their training and credentialing, they will be given access to the teleconsultation module. Again, they will also be given a clinic codes as well as appointment system, which they can arrange their own their patient appointment. Okay, and then once all these systems are in place, when they see a patient in the clinic, they can offer the service to their patient and take written consent as well as train the patient how to perform self check-in. So, and then when the patient goes home, by the time the appointment comes, they do the self check-in about 1 or 2 days prior to the appointment date, and by the time the appointment comes, they can join the appointment or they can join the teleconsultation session using the same platform portal with the single sign-on. Typically, we would require a single private room for our teleconsultation session, both from the doctor and the patient side. But we do aware that some patients, they need to have a family member with them to troubleshoot some other technical issues, for example. So this is as generally acceptable. But we do not recommend patients to join in teleconsultation from a public space, for example, like in a restaurant or in a clinic waiting area. We try to keep some degree of confidentiality with our patient. Visits are documented in the EMR as per usual physical clinic visit. We did have a discussion whether video recording is necessary or not, but eventually we felt that it is not necessary because it is not part of our routine visit documentation. The payment is done by an online banking payment portal, which is linked to our single sign-on portal. We use the FPX portal, and again, despite attending sessions for teleconsultation, we also require that patient will still have a appointment for physical visit. So meaning that they cannot just attend teleconsultation indefinitely without any plan to return back to the hospital. So at least this is how things are working at this point. Of course, this is our process. Our system is far from perfect. We are planning to review back this process, and based on the needs, we may need to make some changes. For example, if patients who are from remote areas, how do we work with them? For patients who come for group visits, so how do we work with them? I will tell you in the next few slides. So the current limitation, I find that teleconsultation adoption is rather slow. Okay, and I personally do find the adoption is very good among patients. It's just that for our hospital, I feel that among doctors, the adoption is still rather quite slow, and this is despite high level of interest showed by them. Partly because I feel many of our doctors are still busy with COVID-related works. So meaning that even if they are interested in teleconsultation, but they still have to run COVID ward, they still have to arrange vaccination process, they still have to arrange contact tracing, for example. Then they will have less time to engage in teleconsultation sessions. And some doctors, quite a number of them are, as you can see, quite put off with the high level of technical requirements. And because this is something new, and we understandably, I mean, we do realize that there is some degree of technical requirement for our teleconsultation session, but we hope to address this issue in the future and try to make the process more accessible to most doctors. Personally, after running this clinic for the past almost 1 year, I've done it since September last year. I find that there is a rather high failure rates or visit failure rates, and this is not an observation that I see myself, but when I hear other people talk about teleconsultation as well, this is the same observation that other people are seeing. And there are some subgroup of patients who have a higher risk of failure rates, those who are less literate, technological equipments, for example, especially those who are unfamiliar with the system for self check-in. And because of this, I have personally come up with a system that to train patients and come up with a training material for them. And I find that this does improve it does help to reduce the visit rate. But there's also another intervention that I think works for myself and maybe for other places, that some sort of a reminder system that to remind them to perform the self check-in and to remind them their appointment is coming. And this does in fact reduce their failure rate as well. For now, the numbers of clinic rooms available for teleconsultation is still limited, but again, this has not been fully utilized yet. So I feel once we are fully utilized, then we may increase this number. As for our legal requirement, we need to take consent for teleconsultation. And for this time, we are still using a written consent, and this proves to be difficult during COVID times because patients cannot come to the hospitals. Their appointment is postponed to a later date, so we cannot take consent from them. We still do not have a mechanism for group consultation, and we still do not have a clear mechanism for other non-clinic services, like I mentioned, for example, in the gym or in the physiotherapy sessions. The good news is I find that patients are very highly receptive of our services. I would say maybe about 9 out of 10 patients are very enthusiastic about the teleconsultation. Most patients who attended teleconsultation are very happy with the service that they receive from teleconsultation. They don't complain of poor reception or difficulty in communicating with their doctor or difficulty in addressing their problems. Most of them are very happy with the consultation that we provide through these online platforms. Most clinical scenarios that I have seen so far can be addressed during teleconsultation. Except for probably one patient who complained of vaccine-related side effects that took me about a longer time than usual. But most of my other patients can be addressed within the allocated time. In fact, shorter than the allocated time actually. So there's no issue about this. So far, I have not have any adverse event yet. I've not had any medication error or wrong data to make a clinical decision making, for example. And this is something that we are so far very happy about. And early on, we have contacted our indemnity providers who are happy to extend their coverage to practitioners who practice in teleconsultation as well. Moving forward, we have a study ongoing about the descriptive cost analysis for diabetes teleconsultation, and I think this is something that we can expand to other units as well. We also have a ongoing feasibility study for our telemedicine app, the WeHealth app. Currently, we have opened up applications for other units in the hospital, and quite a number of other units have applied for teleconsultation services hospital-wide. We also look forward to expand the services to non-doctors like nurses, dietitians, physiotherapists, and counselors as well. We need to refine a bit of just some tweak on our EMR system to be more friendly for teleconsultation. We need to look into the legality or into the legal aspect of electronic medical consent, because as for Malaysian law, the legality of this is not exactly quite clear. So we need to look at this in more detail. And we also need to develop a system to minimize visit failure. So it means that we need to make sure that patients, or at least most patients who are given telemedicine or teleconsultation appointment, did turn up and eventually had a successful consultation with their provider. So with that, I welcome questions for the audience. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Lukman, for the presentation. Is there any question or comment from the floor?
Yes. May I ask a question? Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have as you mentioned, maybe I didn't listen clearly. Did you have an overseas patient which also take this service?
Currently, we do not have yet, but because our teleconsultation process requires that the patient have a physical appointment. So in theory, in theory, as long as they can come to see us physically, maybe once or twice a year, and then after that, maybe they work or they study overseas. In theory, it's possible, but currently I do not have yet. But it is not something that impossible that we can have in the future.
I see. Yeah, because I'm interested in this project. I'm also a diabetic patient for 26 years, and I really looking forward have some kind of telemedicine to take care of me. Right now, I have to go to the clinic every 3 months to get the medicine. But the interesting things you said, you have used the Apple Freestyle, monitor. Glucose monitor. That's also interesting to me. Years ago, someone provided me just for the trial. So let me put on my arm, and I can. Yeah, I really. I said it's very good because I can monitor my glucose immediately, and I know what's my status after I ate something, and I know which food is not good for me because I can immediately tell. Also, not so. It's still very convenient. It's pity in Taiwan we are not for our TFDA not to support. I mean, not to give this kind of device. So is in Malaysia? Is it okay? I mean, people can purchase that or provided by hospital.
In Malaysia, we have two pathway of healthcare. One is the government funded healthcare or the public healthcare, and as well as the other one is a private healthcare where you pay out of your pocket or you pay with the insurance. And some equipments are provided or provided by under the government healthcare. Some equipments are not provided. I do understand some countries still do not reimburse CGM sensors. So the same goes in our public healthcare. We do not provide free CGM sensors for our patient, but so far what I do is that I use it selectively for patient who will need the sensor. Most of my patients are patients with type 1. I do have some patient or type 2 diabetes as well who use a sensor, but most of them they have type 1 diabetes. A good thing with University Malaya Medical Center is that we have both pharmacies in our hospital. So it means we have a public pharmacy as well as we have a private pharmacy as well. So it means patient can get these equipments without going to other place. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions? I can see Dr. Koriko. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for your sharing your advanced activity. And I have some question about the system. So do you provide the patient some ID of your hospital, and how to share the information?
Okay. When you say about system, what can I just clarify? What do you mean?
Yeah, I cannot understand the whole system connection. For example, you said the SSO single sign-on system and and some payment system and also Zoom. So how is the step for the patient for getting the consultation?
Let me just show you how it works. Yeah.
So thank you very much.
So when patient search for the single sign-on, right, they will find this result. Okay, and then they will come up to this page. Okay. And this is available in any network. So this is not just within the hospital network. So they can do it from home, or you can even do it overseas actually, in fact. Okay. So if let's say I sign on to my account.
So patient will register by themselves using this page.
Yes. So they will need to sign up here. They will need to sign up here where they once they sign up, their information or their single sign-on details, their username and password will be linked to the hospital account or to the hospital EMR. Okay. And then once they have signed up, they can log in. Okay. So if let's say, assuming they will just go through the I just show you the sign up process first. Let's say if I don't have an account, right? I just go to sign up here, and then I will provide all this information to them. Okay. So because their IC, we call it my card in Malaysia, or their personal identification number is linked to our system as well. Okay. This once they register, this will detect that they have an account in our system, in our EMR, and and this will link to their login credential. So let me just show you again. If let's say if I log in from here, okay, so they will come to this page where from this they can go to their details and their families as well, and they can check on their appointment and self check-in system. So from here, they will see their list of appointments if there is any, because I don't have appointments, so there's no appointment listed here. But if they do have, they will see some patient they can have up to 5, 10, or 20 appointments there. And then they will see where is their telemedicine appointment, and they can do check-in and join from this exact page as well.
Wow.
So on the same day itself, they just go to this page, log in, press a button, and then they are in.
Wow. Thank
Okay.
you. So the credit card is connected, so automatically payment is
Yes. So when they do the check-in, if they are a paying patient, because we do have some patients who don't require payment, like civil servants, for example, we do have patients who make payment. So if they do require payment, this will link them to a pop-up page, FPX page that will link to their online bank account or their credit card account.
Wow, thank you very much. Very advanced.
Okay, Kuriko, maybe I just would like to add. We had presented, I think, in 2 previous Apan about the technicals of this telemedicine project. So because today I invite Dr. Guman because he's one of the pioneer doctor that are very interested to do this telemedicine. So technically, basically like this, we had prepared a portal that Dr. Luman showed to you guys just now, the single sign-on. So actually, single sign-on account actually created by the patient. They can enroll and register, but they will have to provide their national identification, which is matched in our HIS system. Then we can call the patient details, for example, the RN number in the hospital. So that is how the process would like, and also it catch with the appointment, and then it link to the appointment system. So in terms of how we link with the Zoom and also Google Meet system, actually we had prepared something like appointment slot. Then from each of the system, from Zoom and also from Google Meet, we'll have a unique auto-generated link, which will only update to the portal. So, for example, when they have an appointment, the portal will look for the appointment system, and also we look for the link where the doctors and the patient will meet up. So that's how we integrate with the back end of Google Meet and also video system.
Yeah, actually very nice system, and it's a platform. So variety on this kind of platform, variety of activity can be done. And it's very nice and advanced. Thank you very much.
Right, and for the long term, actually we are now in process of a pilot project for our mobile apps for the patient, and one of the modules is the telemedicine modules. Because as mentioned by Dr. Lukman, we need to tackle on the issues that patient doesn't turn up. By having application, you can have an auto reminder, auto start everything, which can really help patient not to miss their appointment for the telemedicine.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other comments, question? Oh, Satya, I can see Satya.
This system looks very good and very promising also. Really very happy to see the entire system. This home blood glucose monitor, how it works? They need to enter this data physically in the app, or the app automatically picks up the blood sugar levels?
Okay. We have 2 works in, not to say 2 works in progress. There are 2 ways of doing this. For now, we are building we are in the process of testing the feasibility of a WeHealth app So the WeHealth app is synchronized to Roche AccuCheck Guide meter by Bluetooth. So meaning that if let's say the patient if the patient uses Roche AccuCheck Guide for their glucose monitoring device, this information will be uploaded directly to their account. Yeah. And this device is provided free of charge in our diabetes care unit. So in a way that patient does not lose anything, even if they're using a different brand, right? They can still use up their remaining strips and then just change to another brand that has a Bluetooth enabled system. While waiting for the WeHealth application to launch, I have been using other devices that also have Bluetooth function as well, and usually it comes with the phone apps. Yeah. For example, for now, I find the most user-friendly device that is available in the market now is the Essentia Contour Plus One. So most of my patients are using this system where they can generate a PDF report from their phone itself. Okay. And what they do for now, because our WeHealth is not up and running yet, so once a patient generate a PDF report of their glucose diary from their phone, right, they can just email it to me, either before or during the consultation itself. And this generally does not take too much time. Usually I find even during the consultation, patient can still send their results to me and I can address it within the allocated time.
Okay, when it comes to the consultation, teleconsultation, how do we take the consent? Is it a digital consent or physically to sign up one form or upload?
So currently the consent is taken physically. So meaning that they need to come to our clinic. Let's say they have an appointment today, for example. So for example, like just before I came here, I saw a patient who come to visit me for diabetes. So before the patient leave, I just ask him to sign a consent for teleconsultation, so that for the next visits, right, this patient will just come and see me online rather than physically to the clinic.
Suppose I am looking for a consultation from India, then how do I give my consent?
Okay, that is in the process. We are looking into a digital consent for now. So some of our community members have been tasked to look at it. But like I said, it's probably easier said and done because the legality itself is not very clear. We do have a law for digital consent, but for most purpose, this is used for business and commercial transactions. And we are not aware of any legal provision for it to be used as a medical consent.
Okay. And last question, how the clinicians and the patients responding to the teleconsultation system? Because we have some issues that I would like to know from you.
Okay, but I might be a bit biased to my demographics because my demographics are urban areas. Although they are relatively aged population, but they are still urban dwellers. They still have access to good internet connections. These are suburban areas just outside of the heart of Kuala Lumpur. So that most people in this area have good access to internet connection. They are either by themselves very competent at using online conferencing platform or video conferencing platform, or they have someone else in the house who can help them with the process. So from my experience, most of my patients are very happy with teleconsultation. And none of them so far have said that I would rather not have teleconsultation. I would rather come to the clinic because most patients are very happy. But this is also more likely compounded by the fact that our COVID cases are like crazy now. So most patients would rather not go out of their house and would just see doctor virtually. This is supported by some data from other countries that show that after the COVID pandemic, there are a greater acceptance for teleconsultation among patients, even in the US as well. So I think we are going into the same pattern as well. For doctors, they have shown high degree of interest, but for various reasons, I would say currently I feel I would have preferred the adoption to be faster than at the rate that we are going now. But I hope this can be addressed in the future.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of time, I think please give a round of applause to Dr. Lukman for the next presentation. Okay, then I would like to get Mr. Chiang to call for a second.
Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Aksha from Indonesia, Airlangga University. today he's our long-term friend. He hosts many interesting sessions in the previous APAN meeting, and particularly in the dental session. So today he changed his session to our technology session. Welcome, Dr. Aksa, and he is going to talking about a challenge to archive reliable online exams. Dr. Aksa, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chia. Thank you, moderators. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to share my experience to apply e-learning program in my institution, especially in the pandemic era. Different with Dr. Lukman, this presentation is not technical knowledge, but it would be a sharing session to, to gain information about the challenge of achieve reliable online exams.
Okay, we can see your slide properly.
Okay, thank you. I was assigned to develop the e-learning system in my institution in 2014. And then when the system was established, I was asked to promote and introduce the application to all the professors in my university. I trained them and persuade them to use the system for their works, for their academic works. And I found that it was tough in the beginning. While I introduced the e-learning system for everybody, it was tough, as everybody thought that the conventional class, conventional methods cannot be replaced by e-learning. Some of them also thought that the e-learning is an extra works for them and not efficient. And most people at the time did not think that someday everybody will use e-learning for their works, just like we have today. Since last year, I was not involved in the e-learning things, as they assigned me as a head of department. But some people still often come to me and have consultation about online learning. We use a free version of Moodle, and we also synchronize the application with our academic database. And we also provide the mobile version application for more flexibility. This is the look of our portal. The utilities before pandemics is quite low. The maximum utility is about 24%, but after the pandemic, now the utility is 100%. It means that all professors, all lecturers in the university use the e-learning to work. It means that we need to upgrade our system and optimize our software, and to give assistance for those who have problems and need help. We also provide task force and help desk. Okay, that was our background. And as I mentioned earlier, that I am not talking about the system, I'm not talking about the technology itself. I'm talking about the new problems that we face after we apply the full e-learning in the pandemic. I will start to underline and stress that the transition from classical learning to e-learning may create some problems, at least from our experience. Everybody was shocked to find that the result of quiz and examination scores are very excellent. I also found that students use artificial intelligence-based portals to help them finishing their works and assignment. That will be a particular problem in online learning. We can find many websites that provide tools to make essay, to make rephrase, to make essay, essay to writing assignment, to make rephrase, rewrite, to make another version of an article, which would help a lot to finish works for students. They just put some words or some part of the article and let the artificial intelligence-based website work to help students to finish their works. As young people, students also have forums to discuss and share tricks in online learning. And sadly, most teachers are not aware about it. These facts, will create some consequences. And the very bad thing is, I'm afraid that if there were too many fraud in the class, then the quality of education would be questionable. Maybe people will not trust our product. People will not trust our graduates just because our system is not really reliable to produce the good quality of graduates. For example, the student can trick their presence to in the online class. I think everybody knows the trick. They make screenshot or video in front of the camera and make it as a virtual background and let the camera close. So the teachers cannot recognize, or hardly hard to recognize to make a decision whether the student really present in the class or not. I think this trick is widely used by students in the world. I don't know in Japan they use the trick or not, but here in Indonesia, I think everybody use the trick. So the teachers must be careful for this situation. Also, the student can also trick assignments. They widely use artificial-based student portals. Like, I can give some examples here. Get digest, resumers, summarize this. These websites help students to make article summaries. Very easy. You just copy and paste the article, and the AI machine in the website will create the summaries without any work, without doing anything. We also have Smoothing like SpeedWrite and Quillbot. Yeah. The websites also provides some tools to make rewrite, to make rephrase for the student. And the student will not do anything to get their work finished. And sadly, the teachers usually don't realize that their student use this facility for finish their assignments. The next one is the latest one is the Shortly AI or essay bot. This is an essay maker. if you put some keywords in their website, for example, inflammation, the shortly AI machine will create some article or writings about inflammation, and it is cannot be a track that it is same or not the same with other writing in the websites. The artificial intelligence makes their essay by themselves based on the keywords provided by students. I give you some example here. To make a summary article summary, the student only need to copy and paste the article that the teacher asked them to make the summary, and the machine will make the summary. Very easy. Also, if teachers ask student to make paraphrase, rewrite, the student also copy, paste, and the website finish their work. And it is plagiarism free. I don't know. You if you are a teacher, you worry about this or not. And I try to test these things to make some article, and it is approved by the editor. This one, shortly AI, yeah. The student only need to write or to fill the keywords and let the machine work. Write about the work. Write everything about the keywords, the topics. And if the writing is too short, we can ask for more. How many pages? It's up to you. Yeah. So I don't know. I think not every teacher aware about the situation. Now, how the students take online tests or online exams? They work together using Google Doc, using chat applications, and the last one they use Discord application. Discord application, the application to allow the student to make voice communication. So if you ask the student to turn off their microphone, they actually communicate each other by voice. So the trick is for teachers, you have to ask students to turn on their microphone. In my case, the first semester after the pandemic period, all online tests of all students are excellent, nearly perfect, almost perfect. I think it's particularly perfect. Yeah. What did I do to handle this situation? How to cope this situation? We have to recognize the fact that prolonged lockdown and extended study from from home and online learning maybe happen for a long time. It means that we use online learning for a long time, and the role of the teacher must be expanded. If teachers do not realize the condition, the education quality will questionable. Teacher must be aware and more creative in this situation. What did I do for my experience to cope this situation? We set up the learning management system to shuffle the question in the examination. We shuffle the question and the answers. We also use the safe exam browser that do not allow student to open other application in their laptop other than browser that they use for examination, for the test. And also we set one question in one page, sequential. They cannot go back to the previous page. And then we also apply the limited working time. One question in one page make the student cannot go back to the previous page. It makes students almost impossible to share question and answer between them. Yeah, this is the visual of our setting. We set the one page for one question and sequential, and we check the safe exam browser. So the visual should be like this. I also check the shuffle, make the question shuffle. And it will be look like this. Remember that you can only see the next page. You cannot see the previous page. It means you cannot go back to the previous questions. We cannot go back. Student cannot go back to the previous question. Just next question. One page per one question, and everything is shuffled. I also make requirement for the students' equipment. They have to use second camera, external webcam or mobile phones. Yeah, the Zoom cam must cover the student working area, and the microphone must be on. It look like this. You can see that we can see the teacher can see the working area of the student, and the microphone should be on. Yeah. So we can see what their laptops show, what the display of their laptops, the appearance of their on the desk. No phones, no books, no notes on the desk. And the students are not allowed to leave the meeting, not allowed to close the camera, not allowed to disappear from camera view, and not allowed to turn off the microphones. And what we got? The score is hopefully fair. But based on the situation, in my opinion, we cannot blame anybody in the situation. However, we hope our students will be people with integrity also, of course. As teacher, we should aware that our students are growing in the era of everything is easily provided in the internet. They can find the trick in the website, forums, and social media. So everything is like, to be served in the front of their eyes. They just use it. They just use the facility. So I cannot blame the student for this situation. Yeah. We as the teacher must be more active to improve ourselves and aware to and have to be aware to the situation. Come to social media, come to the online forum, find the tricks that maybe never end. It keep moving. Tricks keep moving. Teacher also should be keep moving to produce the reliable education. Thank you for the Medical Technology Committee for having me in this session. It is a wonderful opportunity to share this topic with you. Hopefully my presentation could help teachers who might have some problems with us while conducting online learning in the pandemic. And stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aksa. This was a wonderful and very interesting talk. And we really, see how hard for nowadays a teacher, how to access our student. And we appreciate your hard work and since it's work. And really, we're hoping in the future, our trained future doctor can be well equipped by the doctors, the teacher, hard working. So any question from the floor and any question for Dr. Aksa for his interesting talk?
Dr. Aksa?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yeah, it looks very technically sound system. I have two questions. Whether this system is approved by the educational department from the government side, and all the students are supposed to connect on two systems to operate two cameras. How that works?
No, the first one is our system, our application is provided by the university. It is an Moodle LMS. Yeah, I believe you understand about that. Yeah. And while we organized the examination, the laptop will be used for learning management system for opening the LMS. Yeah, and then we need the student to have an camera from handphone or from webcam. Okay. To shoot their working area.
Got it. So laptop need not have use the laptop camera. Laptop is only for the attending the exam, and the camera will be external camera.
For yeah.
Thank you.
This is an easy and cheap, I think, trick to handle the situation, because I don't know in the situation in India, but I think everybody in the world, they have.
Everything is online now.
Yeah, I think that's human nature. Well, we also had a few months ago we had a talk from another doctor. Actually, he's a medical physicist. They're doing some certification work, and they do have some oral examination besides written examination. So the oral, you have to do it remotely. So that's their solution is using two camera, one face to face in front of the examiner, and the other one is to monitor the room situation in case someone behind you to give you the good answer. So that's people. We always new challenge, and that's I think that's So that we did hear this story from it's an international certificate board of medical physicists. So I do have that kind of his talk on our website. I can share with you later. Okay, any more question for Dr. Aksa?
Yeah, okay?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
This is information from previous e-learning studies. It's it's said that if students are tended, well, for example, if the exams are weighted too high, students are tended to cheat, and so it's better to weight the final exam a little lower than online. I mean, in-class exams, so the students are not tended to cheat. And another way is to increase the including discussion based lectures into the classroom, so the students can carry out group discussions, and they are graded on the group discussions, so there's no need to cheat. So that's one way of going on with this trend of e-learning in this new era. So it's just a little comment.
Thank you. Okay, any more question? Due to the time constraint, so let's give Dr. Akra a big hand, and let's move to the next session. So our next speaker is our long-term friend Satyas from AIG India, and so no need to introduce. He's the big guy in this field, and we are looking forward to hear your talk about use of telemedicine during COVID-19 in India. Satya, the floor is yours.
And Jahir, for giving this time for me to talk during this technology session. I'm always happy to meet all our colleagues, friends on this platform. So unfortunately, we are not able to meet in person. But this time I may not be able to, I may disappoint many of you because I don't have much to share in technology. So what I thought I'll share the work, what we did during this COVID pandemic. So hope you can see my slides. Yeah, I'm just going to share the technology what we used during this COVID, because the second wave doesn't give any chance for us to come out with new technologies. Whatever we just came out during the first wave, those things only we continued, but there was no time in second wave because of these so many things. Because of this, like COVID patients one side and non-COVID patients one side, there is heavy pressure on the hospitals to cope up with the situation. So under these situations, one positive thing earlier also I said, the telemedicine engineers got the star identity. These we played the major role in during this COVID pandemic. Everybody came to know the importance of the digital platforms and the telemedicine technology. So this is the one positive point from my telemedicine engineer. And now I'm going to see, it's, as I said, it's not the technology what I'm going to share. I'm just going to share the technology, what we use, how we used this technology, existing technology, how we did this and what we did during this COVID pandemic. So in India, we had a lot of these things, lockdown periods nationwide. This is controlled by the central government. So these are the first wave complete lockdown, and these are the second wave lockdown periods. This is only by the central government, but again in the states, they have their own conditions to impose lockdown, complete lockdown, and each city has got its own criteria to lockdown. So we had almost 3 months, 3 to 4 months complete lockdown in my city after that. So this is the period where we played very major role using this our telemedicine technology. This is all to reach certain groups. First focus is on the doctors, either national or international. We conducted so many programs for the doctors to share the medical knowledge what we gained at our institute on COVID and COVID related other specialties like COVID and gastroenterology, COVID in pulmonology, COVID in cardiology. So there are so many webinars, so many programs we conducted to reach out the doctors in nation or internationally. And the other one is students. We have very big group of medical students, and non-medical students also would like to know during the COVID pandemic to what is happening around, because otherwise they don't have any other resources. And the other one is general public, general population, to educate them on the COVID related or on the general health topics also. The next group is reaching out. During this period, we can't call media to attend the press conferences or anything. So to reach out, press and electronic media is one of the important things through which we can reach the general public. And the other one is staff. So because the government restrictions, we can't call even the 50 members also for a meeting and to discuss anything with the staff. So this is the only platform where we used to have interactions with the staff also. So from here, I am just trying to show some of the clips from our events, what we did for doctors and students, general public, and print and electronic media, and for the staff. So, and the other one, what we did in some of the events, we had the pathology sessions also, where we used to show the live pathology interactive sessions. So that also I'm going to show this one. And this is the first one, what we had. This is, you can see on the top, this is the protocol series, what we conducted by inviting all the specialists like pulmonologist, cardiologist, and like ophthalmology, from all the departments. It's COVID related. It's only the way forward for the doctors, how they can treat the patients during COVID, when to put the patient on ventilator, when to start the steroids and when to stop steroids, and when to give remdesivir and all those things, because there is no proper system. When the COVID came up in suddenly, so it was not properly knowledge was there to all the doctors in remote places, in small town areas also, because of not much experience in handling COVID patients. So this small video I would like to show. This video I'm showing only to show the technology. Maybe people.
Now we come to the actual business of what happened. The first of the series was moderated by Dr. P.N. Rao, who is chief of, and of course, what our experience in the institute is. What are the pitfalls in interpreting COVID PCR reports, and what is the significance of CT?
Thank you very much, and thank to you and JV, because for non-COVID, and unfortunately in the first wave, we were seeing more people dying because of COVID. Now we are seeing more patients dying because of the treatment given to COVID. So vaccine for COVID, I think, has been one of the success stories of associated. First, it has now been approved for.
So this is one of the program what we did, and this was appreciated by many of them. And I think many of them, they thought that we did this program in a very well-established studio with the television studio somewhere. But unfortunately, it was not. It was done in the same place where I'm sitting now. This is the place where we had that program. It's completely green matted studio. And then we had those graphics on the background to give that impression that, so the program quality is good, then the attendance is good, and that program was almost reached around 35,000-40,000 doctors all over the world, and a lot of appreciation on that, because that included so many specialties into that. So this is for the senior level doctors who are all treating on the COVID pandemic. And this is the studio which earlier I showed also the same thing. But how best we can make the programs using these type of studios, that makes a lot of impact on the audience. And the second one is the endoscopic skills, like budding gastroenterologist, what to choose and whether they should go for gastroenterology. If they are into the gastroenterology, what type of skills they should develop. This we delivered, our chairman, Dr. Nageshwar Reddy, delivered a talk during that Indian Society of Gastroenterology master class. So this is how we prepare.
It's also a privilege to have, Dr. Can you just tell some mantras of how young gastroenterologists are those in training course? So now, what level of endoscopy and who should train? In fact, if you look at this, basic GI fellows should know how to do standard procedures, GI bleed, polypectomy, dilatation, PEG, and so on. So basic gastroscopy, colonoscopy, and these few basic procedures should be part of GI fellowship. 3 years and debate, but this is the general feeling. Now coming to advanced GI fellows.
So this is how we just created that interest among the audience, because every hospital, every doctor turned on to the digital platform and the telemedicine part, Zoom meetings and so many things are happening. So we have to be something special to attract more audience, more doctors, more students to our program. So we came out with all this technology, little difficulties in the beginning, but it was streamlined, and the speaker is also very comfortable in presenting this way, because they don't have anything at the back, but still they should feel that there is something happening at the back and address that meeting. And this is the one teaching program what we did for Indonesia specifically, because it's happening in Indonesia. I thought I'll show you this Indonesia one. This is for the IBD, inflammatory bowel disease program, what we conducted to just check the prevalence of IBD in different parts of the world, and also how they are treating in Indonesia, and how the rest of the world is treating IBD. So this, to share this knowledge, this is the one program what we had. Every month we'll have one program and focus on different kind. We did for one for the Sri Lanka also we did. This is Indonesia. One we did for Bangladesh. One for the Afghanistan also we did. So this is a small clip I'll show just how we did this one. This is the one.
Warm welcome, every friend, every colleague. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to the IBD ENC. Indeed, because as we celebrate the importance of tea and suffering from this, at the same time, it's Eid, and Eid Mubarak, and very happy and peaceful Eid.
Once again, a warm welcome to the IBD ENC Masterclass.
Yeah, this is all, we used to put it live on the YouTube, and all the faculty is going to be on the Zoom platform only. And this is the one for the surgical students, what we did. It's almost like a live surgical procedure to the students. First, we used to show the case presentation like this. Once the case is presented, then the live workshop is to go. This is the live procedure, which
So we'll take down the IMA. Usually in the sigmoid malignancy, if it is a lower sigmoid malignancy, we prefer to take the inferior mesenteric artery as the nodal clearance is better. But the only precaution that we are supposed.
And you can see the quality, very high definition quality of the videos we transmitted on the YouTube, because every output is HD based and here. This is for the surgical students. It's a learning program for the surgical students. And this is also the for the students who are already still studying at the end of their final year, who are all going to attend the exams. For them, we conducted a like mock exam like thing, pre-exam this is. With the same faculty whom they are going to face in the exam also. So we invited all of them on the Zoom platform, and this was very successful. This is the 11th one actually. Till 9th we did physical meetings, and 10th happened on virtual platform, and 11th also happened on the virtual platform only.
"11 years in association under the aegis of Indian Association of Surgical Gastroenterology. These clinics have been of immense benefit to the students, and basically the entire success of the clinics has been in this sector.
Why is that the stomach won't get distorted in malignant disease? Why is that the benign disease?
This is the cases are presented to the students, and then all the students, they lot of interaction with the senior faculty.
Conscious, well alert, and oriented to time, place, and person. He is a moderately built and his performance status, ECVG performance status is.
So this is the one which we did with the it's a government organization. The person who is on the screen is the state government top level officials. Because looking at our programs, the educational programs what we conducted, and government also suggested we'll also associated with it, and we'll do one program. Allow the state doctors, and this program was attended by almost 40,000 people, 40,000 doctors.
The private sector participation becomes very important, and therefore, if you recall, in September 2020, we had
That was a Chief Minister's message.
And
this is how we conducted.
In spite of a very busy schedule, in fact, there's a board meeting at All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. He has agreed to give this.
This program also involved all the top level government officials involved. And this is the one program what we conducted on the eve of World Hepatitis Day, so involving so many specialists all over India. And we could share very good knowledge with all the doctors. And this program also.
Welcome everybody to this webinar on the eve of the World Hepatitis Day.
On the eve of the World Hepatitis Day.
So just small snippets I'm just showing, not much,
logo for this
what we did actually during this program.
You can see on the right side.
And this is the one of the live workshop where we involved the pathologist also live. This will be interesting.
Bilaterally try to left to you can see in this case you can drain more than 70% by this technique. So let's have the cytology shown before we proceed. Yeah, you can see the picture now that Anuradha is there. You can see. Asma, can you see the histology, cytology picture?
Now it's clear.
Yeah.
The cytology which Dr. Mohan has just given us, as you can see, that there is adequate cellularity and there is loss of normal polarity of the cells. And in fact, we can also observe that there are some discohesive cells. If you just go to the higher part, you can see the nuclear atypia. The cells are enlarged and there is a high NC ratio and marked pleomorphism with focal.
Yeah, this is one of the live workshop where they collected cytology samples in the procedure, and the pathologist also there in the same room in one place. So where we give the live pathology report so that decision making will become very easy, and the audience also can feel that diagnosis, how they assessed it, how they came to this position. So this is what I wanted to share, but no specific technology, but how we can use this technology to reach out different groups of population like doctors, students, public, and all these areas. So this is one public awareness program what we conducted. This is COVID care guidelines. Actually, once the COVID situation was very serious in India, then there is no proper guidelines for the public. Then like when they should see the doctor, how to check their oxygen levels, and like so many doubts they used to have, what all the parameters they should check in the blood. So we released one COVID booklet, COVID protocol booklet for the public itself.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this program from AAG Hospitals. We are extremely glad that we have with us our chief guest today, this evening, Vishwanath Sajana. Vishwanath Sajana is the.
So we created this.
So these booklets contain all the information what the patients or the attendants want to know. This will be both print media and also it's going to put up electronically in our website. Anybody can go and get this information. Very useful information is given on how to isolate yourself in the home, what type of medications you can take, when should you contact the doctor, how to check your oxygen levels, and so on.
Yeah, this program was a big hit, and almost thousands of people they downloaded these guidelines, and many of the media also they covered. This is very good thing for the public because they are into a dilemma what to do during this COVID period because they can't see the doctor, they can't reach out the doctors on over teleconsultation. This book helped many of the patients, in fact. So and this is the also one of the this happened after the COVID impact is over. There are so many post-COVID complications to the public. So during COVID, we gave them the guidelines, and post-COVID, because of the excessive usage of steroids, there is because of so many issues, people used to develop these black fungal infections. Then that time also, what they are supposed to do, how when they should see the doctor. For this also, we had one program.
Everything.
That is also digital.
You see, like when we are going around, so we are still saying that COVID protocols are not maintained. Don't you think the awareness campaigns?
The media people are interacting actually on the live.
Taking this the mask and maintain the penalize. We can't be putting it responsible in this. Carry this message of
so this is how we combined our programs for the general public, media, and everyone. So this is what
everything. When we see
this is one of
when we are
the
going
media
around, we are seeing
this thing. So on the whole, I wanted to say how best we can utilize the technology and reach out the people through different channels. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tatya. Is there any comments or question from the participants? Okay, I think thank you, Satya, for the very interesting presentation. Then I would like to call for the third presenter, Mr. Chiang, to present about experience for him to support the telemedicine activity during pandemic 19. Mr. Chiang, over to you.
Thank you. This is Tizhuang Jiang, and I would like to share some experience during this COVID-19. And compare with Dr. Asaf, he's dealing with the medical student. My support is mainly dealing with the medical profession, like a doctor, nurse, and other paramedic profession that they are continuous medical education. Well, I just retired from the National Taiwan University after 40 years. So this January is my last day. I sign off. So I just keep this photo memory. And so before the 12th of May, Taiwan seems like living a parallel world, which outside Taiwan. In Taiwan, seems our life is not change much. We're still hosting a lot of conference together in home in this conference room, and we have lots of live demonstration, education program, and we even join international conference for share the knowledge, because we doctor. Because of that time, we lack our patient, so we don't have much experience how to treat the patient. We need this knowledge badly. Okay, so when I was in Taiwan University, my life is full of very good resource, because in the hospital in National Taiwan University, we can have lots of bandwidth, lots of equipment, and we can do many webinar or video conferences. If some party, they have enough money, they can hire some audio-visual engineer to support them. For instance, like this one, they hire, I think, at least a group of 10 people to helping them to perform international webinar. So this is the one you just saw it. We have so many people joined, and that's cost a lot of money. For my work in the past, I told them, as long as it's my working day, it's free of charge. So I'm doing my best, but it's a very economical one. But things have changed. After 12th of May, Taiwan government announced the phase 3 lockdown. So you can say this our world immediate change. So the people came to me. You saw people was in a conference room or the meeting room. Suddenly they cannot go there to carry on their planned conference or webinar or seminar. So they asked me to my support how to host a webinar internet, because they are not ready that. So really, many medical association society asked me, can I help? But the first problem for me is, am I vaccinated? Are you? No, because I'm not working in the hospital after retire. So my priority for the vaccine is low. So I didn't get the vaccine. It's quite dangerous for me to go around. Also, I can only work from home. So this is actually, I just moved a new house and nothing ready. I just have to use this not a work home, but just work from home. And so in the home, not like a university, the bandwidth definitely is the issue. So I ask myself whether I can to host the webinar. So you can say I need a lot of prayer, which is this is actually quite a nice scenery near my home. Also have some challenge. So we need suddenly our webinar needs more participants to join. And also some party asked me, we can't use Zoom because Zoom, there was a security issue last year and the government make an announcement, advise people don't use Zoom for the teleconference. So, but so they asked me whether there's the other choice. And also someone asked, can I have an instant response system from the video conference so I can immediately know how the audience responds. Also, some people ask me whether can we break out room for discussion, small group discussion. Also, because for the continuing medical education credit, they need to know the participant whether they are really joined the records. Well, a little bit similar like Dr. Aswas just said, the student, sometimes cheap. So how can we avoid this one? But I always tell them, the participant for this kind of webinar, they already graduated. They are the people in the medical work, and they need some new knowledge to support their work. We shouldn't worry too much about this. Our main goal is how to help them. They can get the latest knowledge, medical knowledge, at their convenient time, at their convenient space. So that's my major interest is to do that. I'm really not interested to do this work, but they still say they need this kind of technology. Also, some people ask, do we have a backup plan in case the speaker maybe have some problem when he start to present and his networking got wrong. And if that happens, then the time will be wasted. So we have a pre-recording presentation, sometimes needed. Also, then come to the offline learning. Can we do that in case we cannot do it online? So my first encounter with the Taiwan Medical Association for the obesity. The obesity society, they're a small society, so not many people. So they decide to, first, they don't use a big conference room, use their small conference room, only small people. And that time, the government only allowed 5 persons in one room, of course, with mask. Sometimes they don't wear mask like this one. Anyway, so it's run out very good because not participant is good enough because my account is 100 Zoom account. But the next month, they asked me to support the second one. And suddenly the system give me this message, which means we cannot allow more than 100 people. So what can I do? Because lots of people calling the office say, we can't join this conference. So the secretary immediately take action, call the company, say we're going to make a bigger one. So make it 500. So immediately you can see this one disappear. And of course, 500 connecting is much expensive. Okay, but it's work. So about without Zoom. So my second choice is using the life-size, which I used before. Life-size cloud. I think not many people use that before, and we use it at the last Asian Telemedicine Symposium, and we give a very simple description how to use that one, and to the society, which the society is for the therapeutic radiology and the oncology. So I just give him a link, and they can join easily with their web browser or their app. And you can see, because you can see that many people join there if they turn on the camera. By the way, I always ask people, you can switch off your camera during your watching the lecture, but please open the camera just for a group photo, just for record. But you can see there are many people using this technology without any difficulty, because it's a cloud service. Also, we're using the WebRTC. And also this system, the LifeSat system, can give you a detail of participant. And even at the administration web page, you can see where the participant come from. Like the one you can see, there's one from Tokyo, from Kyushu, and Hong Kong, even Hong Kong. And Taiwan, you can see, 303 participants. Even you can go closely, you can see the local Taiwan's participants number and where they come from. So it's quite easy to also to notice what your participant is from and what kind of device they're using. There was a time I even saw someone from New York. I was very surprised, and I looked at that, and who's that? I happen to know this person, this doctor. He was doing some research work at New York, and he joined this course in the midnight their time. And so that was wonderful. She told me that she still needs some CME credit. He glad using this technology to join. And so, of course, the WebEx also another solution. We have some kind of workshop about the COVID-19 vaccine, and they use the WebEx without any difficulty. By the way, this WebEx account, which is belong to the National Taiwan University, so every professor can apply this account for 1,000 connection. And so this WebEx, you can see also is easy to operate, and not but you can set up the breakout room. So I forgot to take the photo of the breakout room, how you set up, but I used the one which Cisco provides. So you can divide a small group for discussion, and they also satisfied with this kind of service. Of course, sometimes the number is more than 1,000. Like last weekend, last Saturday, I get a require. Originally, they say 1,000 is enough, but few weeks ago, they told me, oh no, the registered number is over 1,000, nearly 6,000. I say, well, I can't have such a large number for conference, but the only way is the YouTube. So I support them using the YouTube streaming, and you can see the streaming, and you can see people ask questions here, and the local venue, not big venue, just conference room. We told the speaker, here's the question, would you please answer online? So, and some pre-recording, like some presenter say, some speaker, they say, I need to pre-record my presentation. Can you help me? So usually I will give them a Zoom link so they can have a video conference with me. And I told them, show them how to teach them how to do the live demos, the desktop sharing. Then when they're ready, then I say, okay, I'm going to start recording your file, your presentation. So after that, I will give them the link so they can see whether it's okay or not. Sometimes they ask me, can you cut off something which I'm coughing, or I have something I'm thinking, please cut it off. So I will take sometimes more time to make the presentation more properly. Also, I have some requests from the Asian Pacific Society of Cardiology. We actually, this Apan, Wednesday afternoon, we do have the cardiology session. You are most welcome to listen, to watch it. And we actually, APS SC is inspired about our medical working group activity. So from last year, beginning of last year, they decided to join our special interesting group, and they like to follow our model to do this webinar on a very regular basis, because they almost every month they're going to use this technology to hosting a webinar, and they still enjoy it. And I will put all the recording file into our website, which for people we can review later. And some content, I even put some question behind every presentation or every speaker, and the question they have to answer it online. They answer it, then the video can carry on. So that's another way to enhance the offline learning, because people they cannot just leave it, they turn it on, but they have to watch it and listen and answer the question. So that's my job. Actually, I've done this since 1997. We are actually, that time with the telemedicine, we really deal with the patient in the remote area, rural area, watching their X-ray scanning. Those days, no such a big, not easy to using the teleconference. This kind of device very cost. And that time we do some proof of concept. And since then, we also involve many education program. So that's this. Although I'm retired, I'm so glad I'm still can be involved in this activity, and I'm so happy to share this with you. And also, I'm looking forward to learn from you in the future and cooperate with you in the future. Thank you very much for your attention. Okay, any question? Yeah, any question? Sorry, the time is over time. We are a little bit. Yeah, any question, please?
No, Mr. Chang.
Please.
Mr. Chang? Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm a bit stuck here. Just want to ask you a quick question. How you manage to, like, we are technical people, but we have having problem on how to make non-technical people to do these things, all these things, because we cannot be always there for them. This is our big problem here, because we always need to support them 100%. How, to your experience, how you manage this problem?
Okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention that actually for every webinar with a speaker which they will join remotely, I always ask a connecting test with them, not at their convenient time. They told me they can only do it in the midnight. I'm okay, because I feel it's terribly important to do the practice connecting test before every session starts. And for the medical working group, we're doing that. We always say, well, we need some local engineering. But in this time of pandemic, it's very hard to find engineering to give them support. So they have to rely on themselves. Luckily, nowadays, most of the doctor or medical profession, they have experience using Zoom or any video conference devices. So really, I don't get much support from local engineering. All the participants, all the speakers, they done the test by themselves. They joined by themselves using mobile phone, their desktop. Only you just need to give them time to practice. So that's make it happen. So thanks for this new technology. People now there's the easy to cross the border. I mean the barrier to get into the technology world. So that's my experience. So far, okay. Thank you, your question.
Mr. Chang, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Do you provide them any basic specification for them at home or at any place to do live stream or video meeting with other groups during conference?
Yeah, actually, for the like Asian Pacific Society of Cardiology, that's a rather big society. They do have their own YouTube channel and Facebook channel. So they provide the code for me. And that's a good thing for the Zoom is they also have built-in streaming tool. So we don't have to use other or like OBS software to do the streaming. We just click that one. So make our work much easier because most of the time I'm just myself. And for the past 3 months, I have to at home. I cannot go outside. But luckily, so far so good. My home's bandwidth, so far so good. And my mobile, I use a different one for the mobile company, the telephone company, and bandwidth is okay. And certainly you will face some doctor, they're at home or they have problem because their bandwidth may be not good enough. So after you test with them, connecting test with them, then you know the situation. You advise them, can you go to your office just in case? Of course, the pre-recording is our backup plan. So far, we haven't used any backup plan. I mean, the pre-recording file. People like to even they are online, but I play back the pre-recording file. They still listen to their question, their presentation, and answer the question. I feel it's very important for doctors. They exchange their knowledge with the question and the answer session is very important because that's how. If you don't raise any question, why don't you just watch the video on demand? You can watch yours by yourself at your convenient time. But when you join the online webinar, which give you an opportunity to ask questions. That's my suggestion. Thank you. Okay, hope that answers your question. Okay, I think we almost taken over. Oh yeah, thank you. I'm almost over time, 30 minutes. My dear chair, Zahias, any words? Say.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chiang, for your interesting talk. I think because of time, I think I would like to end the session. But before that, probably we cannot go all the participants to say goodbye. However, I would like to thanks everyone for joining the session today, and also especially to all the presenters for sharing their experience and sharing their project. So please don't forget to take photo and send to me, and also please provide your feedback through the QR code that on the screen right now. I also send the link into the email, so please check your email, and hopefully we can have a good feedback from all of you. So thanks again, and hopefully to see you guys again in Apan 53. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
碧琪，谢谢你参加。
真是好久不见。
是啊，
Hi
对啊。
Satya, how are you, Satya?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm just fine. I'm just recovering from COVID-19 actually.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Satya, make sure your place is clean. We are expecting go to your site for ATS. Yeah.
I was
Anyway, I'll do my best to get the vaccine before I go there.
I don't think so. It is going to be virtual only, I think. Not sure.
Oh no, we want to go to India.
Yeah, me too. I want my Indian curry food.
Last time I go in 2004, I think.
Okay, bye bye now.
All right, see you again.
See you.